and I want you to stand by him and make sure nobody picks on him for a week. And he did. And he learned.
And I'll say this, you know, that's, you know, I commend you for that, because that's the way it should be. But the problem is with most parents, they just, like we said before, they just want to cuddle their son or daughter and say, oh, well, my child, that blah, 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 blah.
Oh, they didn't mean it.
Yeah.
Just a little innocent joke. Yeah, well, the fucking kid was mortified. He's fucking mentally handicapped. He was mortified because he can't take care of himself.
Yeah. But I'll say this, too. I heard a story yesterday, and I didn't get to share it because it was like it was aired over my fucking radio. But I heard a little tidbit of a kid who was bullied in high school.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was all 4 years. He was just tormented by this one kid repeatedly every single day. No matter what he did, he couldn't stop it, couldn't get around it, couldn't get away from it, whatever.
So he shot him.
No. Unfortunately, I wish that was the case, but it wasn't. But he did do something. He took it a step better, though. I'll give this guy credit. So what this kid did was he plotted for 20 years. Well, maybe not quite 20 years. I think the guy was probably in his late 20s, early 30s. But plotted. Now, he gets older. Him and this bully still kind of stayed in contact because of whatever reason. Well, he gets on a dating site and starts dating. And just so happens that the bully's mom turned out to be single. So he set it up to go on a date with her. They went on a wonderful date, treated her like a queen, took her home, and banged her fucking brains out. And when done, he disappears. He pulls the ghost trick. Well, he disappears. She calls a radio station, trying to convince the radio station to call him on the phone. She gives him his number. The radio station calls him and asks him, hey, this is so-and-so from such radio station. How's it going? Yada, yada, yada. And he's like, oh, it's going great. What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. He's like, well, we heard you just recently went on a date with somebody named so-and-so. And we wondered why, we were told that everything went, magical. And we were wondering why, you guys, is there a chance you guys could go on a second date or something? He's like, wow, really? And the radio stations, mind you, they have no clue what's going on. And they're like, well, yeah, he's like, man, I got to be honest with you guys. He was like, that was just a revenge fuck. And they're like, what? And then he goes in to tell the story how the kid, bullied him and treated him like shit and, everything. So the radio station is just kind of like flabbergasted at this point. You can hear everybody laughing in the background as he goes into details, explaining as to how he plotted the whole thing out. And he was, doing all this shit. And, yeah, he got his revenge.
Well, hey, at least Mom got treated well, and she got a good fuck out of it.
Oh, Mom was livid when she heard what he had.
I bet. Yeah, but Mom's part of the problem.
Yeah, well, she made the comment. She was like, she actually said that she was glad that her son was a dick to him in school. And that, it is what it is, but I'm sorry. The guy got the last laugh. I don't care how they look at it. That's, yeah.
Well, so, I was picked on in school as well, and it's not fun. I was always the tallest, but I wasn't no bigger than a fucking twig. I didn't have any meat on my bones on my body then. And back then, it's always, well, let's jump on the biggest person in the fucking room to show everybody else that we're not fucking playing. And, eventually you do end up fighting back. But, like some other parents, my father was a complete fucking dick because if I did fight back, I still got in trouble.
Yeah, see, that's wrong. Yeah. I told my kids to fight back.
See, and I was the opposite. You better fight back and defend yourself, or you're going to get an ass whooping when you come home for letting it happen.
Right? Yeah.
Growing up,
don't be a bully, but damn, defend yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was told growing up, it's basically this: it's you don't start a fight, but you better fucking finish it.
Right.
And that's how I was brought up.
I've told my kids the same thing. If somebody's fucking with you, don't stand there and take it fucking butt back up to them. Just don't start the shit. Yeah. And, my son's a pretty boy. You know, he has a lot of friends and stuff like that in school anyway. But, you know, he did. He got bullied around a little bit in school in the beginning. And his mom was that way. Don't you fucking start no fights or whatnot. And, sorry, I jumped down her ass. I was like, no,
right.
Fuck, you're not going to you're not going to fucking ground his ass because he took up for himself. I was like, I don't give a fuck what you say. If that's how you're going to be, then I'm taking his ass to my house and he can just come fucking stay with me. Well, I'm not letting anybody pick on my son. I went through that same shit growing up, and it's not fun at all. It's fucking horrible. You hate going to fucking school. You don't want to fucking learn anything because you just don't want to fucking be there. You know,
honestly, you know, I think parents need to reevaluate the way they're looking at it. See, it's schools telling people that everybody's in trouble.
Yeah.
And that's the wrong answer.
It is.
You know what I mean? Look, if the motherfucker started it, then his ass should get in trouble, period. Cat, come here. You know, I mean, it's just, I know you like that. He tried to escape, but, and he listens too. He's like a dog. He's like, all right, fuck. But
first pussy
honestly,
I ever heard that would listen.
Huh?
First pussy cat I ever heard that would listen. That was.
Oh yeah, he came right in. Cat, come here. He was like turned around. He's like, all right, Mom.
What's up, Mark?
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying hello to Mark.
But it's sad that we can't allow our kids to defend ourselves. So I told my kids to take it off school property. That issue with somebody. And Kyle was getting picked on by who is now one of his closest friends, Alex. And so Kyle said, let's go off property and let's handle this. So they went off property. Kyle kicked his ass, and they've been friends ever since.
Nice.
And sometimes that's what it takes. Because
That's how it used to be. It used to be you guys have an issue, go fight it out on the schoolyard and shake hands with your friends, or y'all are at least done with it.
Mm-hmm.
There was, and the schools now, you're right, they do that whole no tolerance policy where everybody involved is supposed to get in trouble.
Right.
But the bad thing is here, right, but here specifically, like in my town, because I can't speak for anywhere else, but I've noticed, because I homeschool now, but when my oldest was in school, it was like if he was being bullied and picked on and tortured and I went and complained, nothing happened to anybody. Right. But if my son stood up for himself, I was getting a phone call and he was in trouble, but nobody else was. And I'm like, where's that no tolerance crap? Oh, well, we don't have any proof that anybody did anything except him. And I'm like, that's bull. I've been complaining for months. Because, I mean, let me tell you, it got to the point where my truck would pull up in front of their office and the office would be clear. I'd have to go looking for spots.
I've been in there. Building.
Oh, yeah, I've been in there numerous times calling them Nazis and crap because that's how they act.
Well, I got to tell you.
Even the vice principal would harass my son over, like, peach fuzz while he's got 3-day growth worth of, beard shadow. It was ridiculous. Jesus. And my son he was an A and B student. He was first chair in band for 3 years. He had no record of getting in trouble. He's not like a teacher's pet, but he was a good student. There was no reason for any of it. They just had a freaking issue, and the ones that were picking on him were the popular family's kids in town.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you this. It is. But I can tell you this, that in Castle View High School in Colorado, Castle Rock, Colorado is where my kids went to high school. I can simply say this. If you make friends with a police officer that is in the school, your kids will be fine. And that's what I did. Because nobody fucks with the cop. I don't care who you are. So I made friends with a police officer that worked the school, and we used to talk a lot, and made friends with him. And anytime that the principal or somebody like that would finger my kid for something he didn't do, because he was bad. Let's just put it like this. That kid, I have gray hairs from him, and I'm not getting gray hair today. Okay? Let's just put it like that. That child, holy crap. As many times I've been called in that office. But when the kid didn't do anything wrong, the police officer would stand up for my son and say, no, that wasn't Kyle. You need to rethink this. And nobody fucks with cops. because I don't care if most of the time when they work in a school, they're only doing that for extra money. There's still police officers on the force. They still go work their regular job. So nobody wants to fuck with a cop, because even the principal can get pulled over for having a parking light out or some bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's something.
There's always something wrong with your car that they can pull you over and harass you with it.
Let's get a little too high.
I was gonna say, we're like a judge, like we had here 2 years ago. We had a judge. He was actually out on a back road after attending, I think it was a party or going out for a drink or something, and was out on a back road and ended up wrecking and flipping his car. And just because he was a judge, he got basically he got to walk away.
Right. And that's wrong too.
Right. All right,
but I never let, like, the cop, if the cop said my kid did something wrong, I mean, he got punished. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's how we made that relationship. Like, I always held my son accountable. You can't go to a police officer, not hold your son accountable, and just be buddies with him. And my dad's a retired police officer, so I know all about getting away with shit, and I shouldn't have. I mean, honestly, he was a lieutenant for the Lake County Sheriff's Department, where I grew up in Mentor, Ohio. And they usually policed Paynesville. Well, I used to go to the bar in Paynesville all the time. Anyway, so needless to say, I would get out of some trouble because of it, and so did my friends. But that's not the point. That shouldn't have happened. And I knew that, but I was young, and I was like, fuck it, I'm be in the Army soon. Nobody will see me again. But, I mean, I also learned from it, too, because my dad he didn't play. If I fucked up, I went home and took it. I might not have took it by the cop, by the Johnny Law there on the spot, or had to go to court, but it was hell going home. Let me just say that. I had to duck and cover.
Yep, I gotta pause y'all for a minute. We gotta go into our commercial break, and then we'll be right back to continue this, because it's definitely something everybody else needs to continue hearing. So don't be a dick.
The Magic Vape Shop. Come on in to the most extreme vape shop in the USA. The Magic Man will slam and mix all your vaping needs at prices you can't beat. With all the vape gear at your fingertips, the Magic Man will provide you with all your desires. See us on the web at themagicvapeshop.com. Let's get vaping.
Yo, this is Jeff.
This is Mark. I'm Mike.
I'm Craig. This is Mick.
We are Kings Hollow, and you're tuned into Dangerous Grounds Network.
Yeah. Run by Special Ops veterans, putting people in war zones to work and working where others fear to tread. Each one of our products is manufactured in current or post-conflict areas. Your purchases fund women's education, demining efforts, and healing our veterans. High-quality products that make meaningful change for those less fortunate. What America will be for the world moving forward.
This is Sam from Madison Rising, and you're listening to Dangerous Grounds Network.
Branded Warriors Inc., the original tattoo therapy program in America. Big Country and his band of warriors will take care of all America's heroes, with one drop of ink at a time. Go to bwitattoos.org to fill out your application and send it to bwitattoos@yahoo.com. Then the power of the ink and BWI will heal your mind.
Black Rose Tattoo Shop. Veteran Rand and Branded Warriors preferred tattoo shop. BlackRoseTattoo.com. All your tattoo needs.
This is Rio of Madison Rising, and you're listening to Dangerous Grounds Network. Hey, you want a freedom boner or what? Listen now.
What's up? This is AJ from Madison Rising, and you're listening to Dangerous Grounds Network. And we're going to put a little bit of freedom all up